Why does it feel like I'm the only man left on this earth that loves to be alone, that wants to be alone, that wants to experience my true, raw, authentic self, to figure out who I really am deep down inside without going to the events, without smoking weed, without drinking alcohol, having the sex, going to the parties, going to college? Why have I always ran away from that lifestyle? Well, let me tell you this. There's been times where I tried that lifestyle. Some of the things. So, I grew up never smoking weed ever in my life, not once. Never hit a vape. I've never taken a sip of alcohol in my life. Because every time, every single person in my life started to do it, literally everyone, and I was the only one left, I always just repelled away from it. You know what I mean? I always had this feeling in me that I was never in the right community, in the right mindset, in the right place in life for me to actually figure out who I truly am. And when I realized that about a year ago, that's when I really got alone. A little bit more than a year ago. And here I am now. I'm living in Thailand. I've been living outside the country for 7 months now. I've been alone. I've been in the dark. I have nobody, not a single person by my side. Every day I wake up, it's just me battling that side of my brain that wants me to stay comfortable, that tells me to go down that same path, even though I tried it so many times. Even though I had all the sex, right? Like I said, I went to the concerts. 21 Savage, I remember that concert. Is literally realized that this world is so demonic. Like when I saw those pictures behind 21 Savage while he's singing, I literally was not religious whatsoever, but I had this bracelet on that I got from my girlfriend, and I started to hold it. You know what I mean? Because that was a huge clicking point in my life. I realized that I'm not meant to be in a crowd. I'm not meant to be here. I'm supposed to be the guy standing on the stage, but not 21 Savage. I'm supposed to be me, standing on my own stage, not caring about the fame, not caring about the women that are there, right? I want to be different. I don't want to be the guy that's validated by everybody else. I don't care. I want to be the guy I want to be me. That's who I really always wanted to be my whole life. And you know what? I went down that path, trying over and over again, but everything kept driving me towards being alone. But you know what the thing is about being alone? Is I always thought it was for me. But every time I tried it, and I would go back to my old ways, it was simply because I had this idea in my head that it was gonna feel so good, that I was going to love it, and it was going to be just like wins and success. And you see all this self-improvement stuff of like, oh yeah, you gotta cut off all your friends and you gotta level up your community, you gotta start doing the hard things. Yeah, you do. And it's not necessarily cutting off your friends, but it's not gonna feel like the way they make it seem. I'm being so, like, I feel like I'm the only one that actually keeps it real on YouTube, as far as like at least people my age or young guys trying to level up, or even if you're 30 or 40 watching this video. It's like, bro, stop trying to tell yourself you're behind. But we're all gonna die one day. You know what I mean? Like, stop trying to tell yourself it's bad to be alone. You clicked on this video for a reason. Being alone is good, but you know what the thing is everybody needs to realize that it's going to suck. That pain that you feel being alone, that is why you need to be alone. Because you need to deal with that pain. You need to learn how to take pain in and turn it into purpose. Instead of listening to your thoughts, your emotions, and your feelings that aren't actually you. What if I told you you're just the observer of your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions, and it's literally not even you? All that is every single piece in your history that is lined up to where you are right now, wherever you're sitting watching this video on your laptop, on your phone, whatever, on the TV, every single tiny little thing has led up to this point. Every single tiny little thing, right? And you are now the observer of your subconscious mind, which runs 95% of your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, and your actions. 95% scientifically proven, right? And you always validate those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions, those actions. And when you go alone, you feel the pain and you're like, why is this so hard? But why have I always wanted to be alone? Why do I always feel like I'm this special person that doesn't see the world the same way everyone else does, and doesn't want to go do the events, the parties, the drinking, the smoking, doesn't want to fulfill their life with stupid things, be average? It's like, you don't want to be average. But then when you feel like, and I'm talking to me, when I would try the path so many different times and it would get really hard, I would just quit. But the thing is all those things that has happened in your past, every single tiny little step, that is what's causing you. Your subconscious mind has put wires in your brain. It's called neuropathic wires. No, neurologic pathways in your brain, whatever, blah, 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 all that stuff, you know. All of those things run 95% of your thoughts. And so like, why do you think it's going to be easy? Why do you think the old trauma isn't going to pop up in your brain sometimes? Why do you let your limiting beliefs, all those fears, dictate your actions? They're going to dictate your thoughts. There's going to be days you wake up and feel like absolute crap for no reason, even if you get 8 hours of sleep, even if you're eating clean. Some days are going to suck. You wanna know why? Because energy never leaves this earth. Some days I wake up and I feel really heavy. And you know what I think that is? So many people envy me. I'm 20 years old living in Thailand. I used to be involved in so much community in my life. I used to be a national champion in a sport for 10 years. I know tons of people. I used to be the best on different sports teams. I used to just always have a lot of community in my life. So for people to see me take the path that I've never seen anybody take ever, quit a 6-figure job, having a job that guarantees success, to move outside the country, to start my own business, to break up with my girlfriend, just to go find who I truly am, not because I had a toxic relationship. Well, yeah, things were toxic when I was not the person that I was meant to be. Well, I wasn't aligned with my path, right? But the thing is like, it's not like anybody cheated or anything. And the honest truth is, I'm dating the same girl now. That beautiful, lovely woman. I'm dating her from outside the country. Isn't that kind of funny? Isn't that kind of silly, right? It's weird. It's a weird path, but if you keep telling yourself that this path is meant to be fun, and you see these guys online that either they're showing the fun side of it, of being alone, bro, I enjoyed tons of days, tons of parts of my days. I love it, right? But the thing is, those hard times, they hit so much harder due to the fact that you're alone and you don't know who to trust. You don't have anybody to talk to. You don't have anybody that understands you. I understand how that feels, because guess what? Nobody understands me. Nobody knows how it feels. Who am I supposed to go to? Hey man, I'm living outside the country at 20 years old. I run my own business. I'm second guessing myself. Things are hard. I miss my family. I feel like this twisting, turning, feeling in my stomach every day. And some days I wake up, I don't want to do any of the work, but guess what? I always do. I get out of that bed at 2:30 a.m. every single morning and I take a cold shower. Guess what? I still haven't eaten a single processed ingredient in a year. You want to know why all those things have still lined up to where I am today, why I'm still living outside the country? Is because I understand that I am not my thoughts, my feelings, and my emotions. but I am my actions. I am the person, the version of me. My spirit is the one that I'm going to choose every time to dictate my actions. Am I perfect? No. Do sometimes I have stupid feelings and I think it's the right thing and I validate it and I go try it and then boom, it's stupid? Yes. I am not perfect. I'm 20 years old. I'm learning too. These guys will come on your online, these self-improvement guys, and just yell at you the whole time, not tell you what the real truth is. But guess what? I don't care if I'm a small creator. I don't care if I don't have a ton of subscribers. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers releasing this video. I don't care. You wanna know why? Because as long as there's one person listening to this video that I can help, that's all I care. Because I know there's somebody out there. You might not be living alone outside the country or any of the things I'm doing. But you need to understand that stay on the path of being alone. Because you are going to find your true, raw, authentic self. You are going to figure out that it's always going to be hard. That life is meant to be hard. We are men. Yes, the rest of the world is so freaking soft, feminine, a bunch of pussies everywhere, right? And that's not you. You want to be able to do the hard things that nobody else does? Then why do you listen to that side of your head that's always trying to tell you, oh, don't do it because you feel this way? Or, oh, go lust. Go text that girl. Go do that vice. That's not you. It's not you. You need to understand that. Take action on the version of you that is in the future, that person that you truly want to be. He's not influenced by all this crap online. He's not influenced by the rest of the world. So why do you try to play both sides? Why do you want to be alone? But then you also try to make this unrealistic version of you that is influenced by everybody else. How are you going to be alone but also be influenced? Yes, you can watch videos on self-improvement. But at the end of the day, how many are you going to watch before you take action? Right? And not just take action on anything, but take action on the version of you, on your spirit, on your heart, on what you actually are meant to be doing. Not the feelings, the thoughts, the emotions. When things get hard and you feel tough, guess what? I woke up this morning and I didn't want to get out of bed at 2:30 a.m. I didn't want to go on my morning walk. I didn't want to get in the cold shower. There's rarely days that I do. There's so many days where I wake up and I feel lost. I feel like nobody understands me. But guess what? That's the indication that you're doing good. You're on the right path, bro. You're heading towards your top 1% self. You're heading towards the exact journey that God has put you on to become the man, to become that warrior, right? So no longer after this video should you sit there in your emotions, overthink, and be like, oh, what do I choose? What do I choose? You know, like one voice, one side of your head is telling you to do one thing, and you know, it seems so tempting. The devil opens the door for you, and he disguises it as good, or he disguises it as the right thing because you're striving for greatness. But then boom, you fall into the trap again because you trusted the emotion, not the path. You know what everyone lacks nowadays? Is you try to get alone, but you don't have a system. You don't have a path. You don't know where you're actually heading. What's the next step? What does the next level look like? You try to create the next level, either unrealistic. You try to hold yourself to this crazy standard just because you've seen somebody else. Just because you're insecure with your position in life. Guess what? What, are you going to go back in the past and change it? Like, what are you going to do about it right now? Like I said, whether you're 20 or 40 watching this video, you can't go back and do anything about it. So stop telling yourself you're behind. Stop making yourself feel guilty. Stop pointing the finger at yourself saying, oh my gosh, I didn't get enough work done today. Oh my gosh, how about you just reflect? And then you look at your system and say, did I do enough today? No. What went wrong? What's the root of the problem? Okay. This morning I woke up and I did my morning routine, but then for some reason I started instantly watching YouTube instead of taking action when I had things I needed to do. I put those off to the side, and you know what that did? It made you feel a little bit guilty. So when it came to doing the actual task, that's what you did. You procrastinated. Maybe you scrolled on your phone. Maybe you just kind of sat around. Maybe you went and ate the meal a little bit early, right? Or maybe you went and ate something or snacked. What is snacking gonna do for you? Are you a little kid? You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe people that snack nowadays and still want to level up as a man, still want a good physique, and also want to have high clarity energy every single day. Like, yeah, I talk about self-improvement, but everything ties back to fitness. Fitness will always be your foundation if you're not an idiot. You must get your top 1% physique while getting your top 1% mindset, right? It's not you get the mindset first, you get the money, you get all those things, and you neglect your health, you neglect your physique, because it means nothing. And it doesn't mean you just get the muscles, you just get the physique. Because guess what? You can get the muscles and physique and also do vices all the time. That was me. That explains my whole journey. 4 years, I gained 100 pounds of muscle mass. I went from 110 pounds to 210 pounds, lean and jacked, and still stuffed my face with processed food, still snacked all the time because I was lucky. I had a fast metabolism. I could eat pizzas twice a week, 3 times a week. I could have Taco Bell. I could do all those things, right? But guess what? Those muscles meant nothing. It just packed on a harder brick wall to break through because I put it over all insecurity. Inside was just insecureness, was brokenness, was lost, was on the wrong path. And to get myself to realize that I'm on the right path, it was hard because I had this ego. I really need to piss right now. I'm gonna need to pause for a second and take a piss. Hold on. Oh. So what I want you to understand is that there's so many different pathways you can go. There's so many different things that you can focus on when it comes to being that version of yourself that you desire. There's so many different things you can start with, right? And it gets really overwhelming. When I first started self-improvement, I was already jacked. So I realized that getting jacked doesn't actually do what I thought it would. I thought it would automatically make me the person I wanted to be until I finally zoomed out and I was like, dang, I'm the same exact guy, just with muscle, and I had more experiences and I grew up a little. Obviously, I started working out so young. I just grew up. That was it. I never started the business I said I was going to start ever since I was probably 10 years old, 12 years old. I never did any of the things I said I wanted to do. So realizing now, I'm like, okay, well, is this the wrong path, or how do I do this? And then I saw, I've always wanted money my whole life until now. I realized I don't care. I could care less about, I know I'm going to become the man that makes the money. It's that simple. I don't care about the 18-year-old driving in Miami, flexing his Lambo and his little watch. Even if he does make the money and he's not faking it or scamming, I don't care. Bro, I wouldn't be happy living that lifestyle. You know you wouldn't. And the kid that is 18 doing that, he's not happy. Nobody can really, bro, you will not. And when I say happy, I mean fulfilled. Happiness is a joke. We all know this. If you actually chase the feeling of being happy, you're a joke. You're joking to yourself, right? But that fulfillment is going to come only from having a system. You can't just keep waking up relying on willpower, not knowing where you're headed in life. You can't just keep trying to do all the self-improvement things and then you focus on one thing that one day and then you realize, oh, your fitness falls off, and oh, you didn't eat the right macro range, or you don't even know what to eat, or maybe you do and you're following that, but then you don't get the task done on your business that you're supposed to be working on, or whatever you're doing. There's a million different directions in self-improvement. And the one thing that held me back when I first tried to start and I kept quitting over and over again was the fact that I never had a real system to look at. I never had things aligned, had a game plan, had daily inputs that I'm logging every single day. I was just relying on willpower. And that's why I gave up so many different times. That's why I struggled to quit masturbation for 4 years straight of trying to quit. That's why things were tough. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Jeffrey. Right there. Bro's got his mask on. There's nobody out here, buddy. Don't be scared. But See, like, you can laugh being alone. You can have a good time, but this only comes when you find your true, raw, authentic self. And this is just like, this is the trailer of my movie, bro. This is me just warming up. 20 years old, living outside the country. You know, I'm going back to visit my family for the first time. I'm gonna see real humans. I'm gonna hug, I'm gonna touch someone for the first time. 7 months. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited, right? But that's what it takes. You gotta earn that stuff. You gotta go through the hardest times. You gotta go through the pain. I'm so excited to go fly all the way across the whole entire world to see my family. See my family, man. And show them who this new version of me is. I have completely transformed as a man the past 7 months. Every single month I'm transforming. Every single month I'm improving. I'm optimizing. I'm building a new system for myself. And that's the whole thing I wanted to come around, right? I got distracted. I'm so excited to see my family. It's a couple more days for Thanksgiving, man. I'm going out there for a couple weeks and then coming back outside the country on this journey. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And the only reason I'm able to do that is because I have a system. I have a system. You have to have systems in place. You can't just focus on 2 areas of self-improvement and not the third. Because once you neglect one thing, then you realize, holy crap, I'm lacking. Then you feel guilty. Then you're like, oh shoot. You know, you beat yourself up about it because we want to level up as men. We can't just be soft little guys like the rest of the world, right? We don't relate to anybody else. If you really want to be alone, you can't relate to anybody else. Nobody else wants to be alone. But if you want to become a 1% man, 1% of people get alone. 1% of people do what I'm doing. Less than 1%, right? So you got to have things in place every single day to get it done. You can't just keep relying on your willpower. You can't keep thinking that, oh, you wake up one day, you feel those harsh emotions. You feel like, holy crap, it's so hard. I'm so tired. I want to get back in the bed. And then you listen to that voice. You get back in the bed, you sleep in. You're not waking up at 2:30 or 4:30 or early in the morning. You're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing. It's because if you had a system in place where every single thing was optimized, aligned, and you actually had accountability towards it, then that's the only thing that's going to get it done. That's the only thing that's going to get it done. Every single client in my one-on-one coaching that has came to me, that was what they struggled with. They just didn't have a system. They came to me with like a dog mindset of, I want to level up. This is what I want. None of my clients are soft. I don't let little pussies into my program. I've hopped on calls and told people no so many different times. Sorry, man. You just don't seem like you're the right fit. You seem like you're a little too soft. You seem like if I were to yell at you, you would just like want your money back. Because you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing. Because you're listening to your emotions, your thoughts, and your feelings. But you right now understand that those aren't you. Every single thing in your past is just lined up to that point to where your subconscious mind has given you that thought, has presented it to you, but you're just your spirit, your heart, you're just observing it. You are the observer. So you can, no matter how strong that feeling is, you can take action a different way. And when you realize what those emotions, what those things stem from, and you have a system where every day you're reflecting, you're diving deep on your true, raw, authentic self, you're figuring out who you truly are instead of just trying to be alone, trying to do the hard things, trying to wake up early, eat a clean meal, go to the gym, do all these things, and then you realize, oh crap, I don't get enough sleep. Oh crap, I didn't do enough things today. Oh, I feel guilty. If you feel guilty every single day, and you're doing things that nobody else does, you're trying to improve. Does that seem right? Is that really what's gonna get you to where you wanna be? Being fulfilled, just feeling guilty every single day? No, it's gonna lead to burnout. It's gonna lead to quitting, to failure, to things getting neglected, to you not getting the physique, but then getting the money, or you getting the money and not having the physique, right? It could go so many different ways. So you need to realize that every single soft little stupid thing that comes into our head every single day, I get the most pussy things that pop into my brain. And you know what I do? That same day I journal. I sit down, I sit in silence. I don't go watch the next self-improvement video on how to conquer through discipline and your emotions and Andrew Tate. I don't watch the next motivational speech. I sit in my silence I get my journal or I figure it out in my own head, and I realize that stemmed from when I was a child. You know, me feeling like I need to prove myself to the world and prove myself to other people always stemmed from the fact that I was bullied and picked on growing up. That I was the youngest kid in the friend group. Everyone else was 2 years older than me, 4 years older than me. That's why I matured so fast. That's why I'm 20 years old, but I got the wisdom as I'm 30, right? I understand things that 40-year-olds don't understand. I push myself through harder times than whatever age, because your age doesn't matter. Your past doesn't matter. All you have is right now. So become the observer and stop becoming the emotions, the feelings, because that's always going to lead to defeat, destruction. It's going to lead to the path that you don't want to be on. It's going to lead to failure. So be the observer. Realize where it stems from. It's always most likely going to be your childhood. If not a recent experience or something or both, it all comes down across the line to where you are today. And if you can dive deep into every limiting belief that you have, every little thing that's causing you to feel that way, right? Because it all comes from your limiting beliefs and all those things that's happened in your past. That's what your limiting beliefs are. That's why you have them. That's why I always had the fear of money my whole entire life, because I grew up broke. My parents screaming at each other about money, saying they're going to kill each other. All because it stemmed from the fact of not enough money, of the man of the household not being the man of the household, of the woman having to step up to the plate of the man, and so many different things. But you see, when life gets a little stormy like this, when it gets a little windy, when the thoughts get clogged up in your brain, become the observer. Become the observer. Observe everything from a third person point of view. Realize that it's not actually you, and take action on the thing you're meant to be doing. Look at your system that you're supposed to have. That's why all my clients have a full system that ties into every single piece for their own specific self-development to get them to where they want to be. That's why we rely on systems, not motivation. That's why none of my clients watch Andrew Tate anymore. None of my clients hop on Alex Hormozi's financial motivation or these crazy gym edits that are motivational. No, we don't rely on that. We don't even rely on the rap music anymore. That stuff's a lie. That stuff's a scam. We're all becoming dogs. So you either create your own system, go invest in a coach that is going to give you one like me, or if you trust another coach more than me, then go do it. I don't care. I'm done. I'm not trying to force anybody into my one-on-one coaching, but all I want to say is that you need something to rely on. For when you become the observer, you need a vision and a path and the next exact step specifically for you. And when you don't know and when you have questions, you need somebody to ask. That's why I invest tens of thousands of dollars in mentorships. That's why I have a mentor right now, to where when I have questions, I go rely on my system and I go execute and I go get the stuff done that I need to get done. But until you do that, you're always just going to be your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions, which is not actually you. You're going to think that's you. You're going to listen to that. You're going to fall down and get back up and fall down and get back up. But it's going to be saying in the same day, you take a step back, you take a step forward. Instead of hitting that little step back, it's like, ouch. You know, you wake up, you feel like crap. And you're like, oh, wait. Boom, boom. You rely on your system. Me and you dive deep into what actually the root cause is, and we fix it. Right? That's what I do every single day with my one-on-one clients. That's what I do with myself. That's what my mentor does with me. Right? There's levels to the game. So if you want to truly level up, then I'll put the link in the description for you guys. And if you don't, if you like this video, but maybe it's not for you, like the one-on-one coaching, I don't care. And you want to drop a sub, go for it, man. But I'm going to always keep it so real on this YouTube channel. I'm going to keep creating. And this is just literally, like I said, this is the trailer to my movie. This is just a start, bro. Just wait till I get more income rolling in and stuff, and I could have somebody follow me with the camera throughout some of these days. It's going to be crazy. Because life outside the country alone at 20 is pretty dope, man. But to get here, you got to learn to be alone. You got to learn to actually strive through being alone. Because there's been a million times I was this close to going back, but I relied on the fact that I'm an observer. And I separated from that part of me that has all the emotions, feeling the thoughts, and I said, screw that, I'm a stoic man. So go be stoic today. Go create a system. Go take action, okay? And don't listen to all these stupid little gurus out here. Don't listen to the motivational speech. Don't do any of that. Go find who your raw, true, authentic self, and just know that being alone is the right path. It's the only way to find your true self. So go conquer alone. Other than that, guys, let's have a great day. Let's go. Yes, sir. Hit that gym. Go get jacked. Have a good workout today. Love you, brother. Let's go.